On the continent of China, dragons and snakes make landfall. Here, there is the Heavenly Sword Nameless, sword Demon Dugu, sword God Xiaofeng, sword Immortal Lonely City, wielding a 3-foot green blade, to battle the pinnacle of swordsmanship. There is a palace master inviting the moon, an ancient tomb dragon girl, invincible to the east, with countless beautiful words, overwhelming the crowd and charming the world. 5 lakes and 4 seas, thousands of mountains and rivers. Countless unparalleled warriors, recklessly practicing their own path of martial arts. There is no strongest, only stronger. The protagonist often travels through this world and unexpectedly comprehends the art of great destiny. From then on, the gears of fate began to rotate. Feilu novel network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The 3000 Laws, Fate First. You are listening at novel.Audio. In an unknown place, in the boundless realm, the consciousness of constant victory quietly awakens. Surrounded by chaos and chaos, only a crystal that seemed to transcend the rules of the world and contained all the original mysteries floated quietly beside his consciousness. With the gentle touch of thoughts, the crystal bursts out with boundless radiance, gradually transforming into an understandable pattern of constant victory. Chang also knows his current situation. He was originally an ordinary social animal from Blue Star, but due to squeezing a bus to Okamoto Island, he went to a garbage dump, took a hot spring bath, and happily went to school to learn some knowledge from an English teacher. However, he was accidentally hit by a search officer and foamed at the mouth, unfortunately dying. As a result, the soul has arrived at the pool of reincarnation in the boundless realm, about to be reincarnated. And this crystal is a tear shed by fate, containing the divine spell formed by the laws of fate. The Great Fate Technique. The Great Fate Technique. The 3000 rules, fate first, can change all destined destinies. Currently, the number of times destiny can be changed is 3. Do you want to change your name? Chang was taken aback. Is it so intelligent? Change your life. In an instant, there were no tornadoes or even fireworks. The Great Fate Technique has been successfully cast, with effect 1. Rebirth from death, perfect rebirth of soul. Effect 2. The holy body of fighting, the path of martial arts, has no neck bottle, and when the realm is full, it will break. Effect 3. The way of heaven damages more than it needs to, but it makes up for the deficiency, taking the lives of others and strengthening one's own life. Effect 4. Money can connect with the mind, and one can use money to strengthen oneself. Tsang, the 81st year of the Shenwu calendar. The rain outside the window still patters, falling into the lake and sprinkling on the soil, like a veil covering the entire city of Surabaya, nourishing all things in this world. In an independent courtyard in the western district, the gentle breeze blew into the crevices of the attic, awakening Chang from his slumber. Opening his eyes in confusion, Chang received all the memories of the original owner. In the 68th year of the Shenwu calendar, Dongfang Bubi comprehended the way of heaven and man's biochemistry at the top of Haimu Cliff, and demonstrated the supreme martial arts master realm. In the 73rd year of the Shenwuli reign, Tianjian was defeated by a stubborn child in an external battle at Shanhaiguan, but later disappeared without a trace. Chang was numbed directly. Where the hell am I reborn to? Dongfang Bubi, Tianjian, and Bubi Naughty are all characters in the novel. The original owner of the body was a member of the Wuxia organization in Datsang town. Zhenwu Si is a violent organization led by the emperor himself, responsible only to the emperor and the people. Mainly responsible for suppressing martial artists from all over the world, investigating officials from all over the world, supervising the imperial family from above, and arresting bandits from below. From low to high, they are divided into Zhenwu Wei, Tongniu Zhenwu Shi, Yining Shi, Jinjiao Shi. His father was also one of the middle-level leaders in the organization of the Zhenwu Bureau, so the original owner was able to rely on his own strength and directly cross from the Zhenwu Guard to the formally appointed Tongniu Zhenwu Commissioner, becoming a team leader in charge of managing 10 Zhenwu Guards. Unfortunately, last month, due to being involved in a certain case, his father died unexpectedly. The original owner was even excluded from serving in the remote city of Surabaya. As the memory was absorbed, Chang also noticed a slight abnormality from the perspective of the bystander. Firstly, his father died unexpectedly, and the original owner not only failed to receive his political and economic legacy, but was also driven to this remote small town. During a drinking of flower wine yesterday, I was provoked by someone. During the brawl between the two sides, the original owner was pushed down directly from the 3rd floor by one of them and passed out. The memories from now on will be gone. Dang! Fate module loaded successfully. A dark blue transparent panel suddenly appeared in front of Chang. Everlasting victory, Constitution. Holy body of fighting, owned by an unparalleled martial arts genius, possessing innate abilities such as absolute calmness, rapid progress, and keen observation. There is no neck bottle in all martial arts practices, and direct breakthroughs can be easily achieved. Realm. Quenched body level 2, martial arts. 13 Taibao horizontal practice, beginner, can use destiny point to upgrade the current martial arts realm. 13 Taibao horizontal practice reaches its extreme, with all muscles and bones as iron, charging into formations and invincible, divine power. Great Fate technique. Fate is unpredictable, but those who learn Great Fate technique have the right to control their own destiny, have the ability to manifest their destiny points, and strengthen their authority. Destiny point. 200, destiny point obtaining paths 1. Money can connect with the gods. 1 or 2 silver coins can be exchanged for 1 destiny point. 2. The way of heaven. Exchange for souls. The stronger the slayer, the more destiny points there are. Chang was overjoyed and his cheats were credited to his account. After seeing the available upgrades in the martial arts section, he immediately chose to confirm. In the memories left by his original body, he had an average martial arts talent and suffered a lot in order to practice the 13 Taibaoheng. However, even so, he can now reach the 2nd level of quenching body. There are even stronger realms such as Qi-inducing martial artists and innate realm masters behind. If the original owner has enough cultivation resources, forging body medicine bath, and nourishing element pill tube, there is still hope for these realms to be enough. It is obvious that the original owner had nothing. Fortunately, there is now a system. As fate points gradually clear from 200. A fiery fate spurted out from the heart and swept through the body of Changxing Forest. 13 Taibao horizontal practice beginners. Xiaocheng. Realm. Quenched body level 2, quenched body level 7. Changxing looked at his noticeably thick arms, so I'm going to harden my body to the 7th level now. Although there are some psychological expectations, compared to the memories of going from hard work to despair, from despair to giving up, Changxing still feels a bit dazed. He slowly closed his eyes and smiled, very satisfied. After a while, he suddenly opened his eyes and walked straight to the edge of the rockery in the courtyard, pressing his palm on a blue stone. Qizhang didn't enter. When the stone fragments come out, they fly and scatter in the wind. 13 Taibao has achieved a small success in horizontal practice, and he is no longer afraid of ordinary swords. After adapting to the soaring strength, Changxing went to the house and picked up the standard weapon of the Zhenwu Guard, the Soul Saber, and walked towards the branch of the Zhenwu Guard stationed in Sisui County. Zhenwu Wei has established Zhenwu Si in various counties of Datsang, with the leader of each Zhenwu Si being an extremely rare Jinjiao Zhenwu Shi. 2 Silver Eagle Zhenwu Shi are under his command, and 1 Silver Eagle Zhenwu Shi is accompanied by 5 Copper Bull Zhenwu Shi. 1 Copper Bull Zhenwu Shi will lead 10 Zhenwu Wei. After being promoted to the position of Jinjiao Town Military Commissioner, the Wuxi Li and Dacang Town can hold more power and status than the county magistrate. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Coming up is Big Ear Melon. You are listening at novel.Audio. The Wuwei branch of Sisui County is located in a spacious private garden. As soon as the former Jinjiao Town Military Commissioner arrived, he did not have a good place to work and directly rated a second in command of Sisui County. Afterwards, this place was naturally given by the county magistrate to the town guards as their residence. The garden is divided into two parts, front and back. The backyard is the area where the military envoy of Jinjiao Town works and lives. The front yard is divided into two parts, one on the left and the other on the right, under the jurisdiction of the two major military envoys of Silver Eagle Town. Chang entered the gate and walked straight towards the left martial arts arena. In the spacious martial arts arena, everyone was originally practicing their own martial arts. As Chang walked in, everyone suddenly felt a strange feeling. Their Bronze Bull Town military envoy seems to have undergone a different change today compared to yesterday. To be honest, no one in the entire Zhenwu Guard of Sisui County believes in Chang as the Tongniu Zhenwu Commissioner. Chang has no strength and no achievements. He has crossed 2 levels and become a small leader with 10 subordinates. It is said that the backstage is also gone. This kind of person is only fooled. At this moment, in the corner of the martial arts arena, 3 people gathered together and whispered, "This kid is coming. Should we go and say hello? He's at least our nominal leader." The level of the Zhenwu Guard is strict. Even if they look down upon Chang, they cannot show any disrespect on the surface. It's really frustrating to step on a horse. A tall and muscular man spat on the ground, then punched the wooden man next to him as if venting. The 2 people next to me didn't say much to mock themselves. The tall and muscular man's name is Yuya, and he has been with the Zhenwu Guard for more than 10 years. If it weren't for the sudden transfer of Chang from above, the position of Copper Bull Zhenwu envoy would probably have been in his pocket. Although the rank of the Tongniu Zhenwu envoy is not high, no matter what, he has also reached the ranking the same as the 7th level, and is a serious official. Chang passed by the martial arts arena without saying hello to anyone, and walked towards the direction of the prison with the soul saber. Hey, is he going to jail? Why go to that dirty place in broad daylight? I heard there is a prisoner who pushed him down from the restaurant yesterday. Unable to hang. Upon hearing the chatter and farting among the people, Yuya's face changed. He gritted his teeth, found an excuse, and quickly ran towards the prison. Darkness and dampness are the unchanging elements of prison. The first time Chang entered, he was almost nauseous by the stench that came from his face, and his strengthened body's 5 senses became even more sensitive. He could only hold back his will and let the prison staff take him to a double cell. Inside were 2 men with disheveled hair, shackles, and prison uniforms. The shackles are heavy and hard. Even if they reach the 9th level of quenching, they cannot break free. Bring these 2 people out. Chang ordered, shaking the copper bowl around his waist. The yamen keeper in charge of managing the prisoners was momentarily taken aback and immediately took orders. They are just the lowest level of servants. Even if others do not like Chang, it is still among officials of the same level, and these servants are not qualified enough. The prisoner in the prison saw Chang and a hint of disbelief clearly appeared in his eyes. Chang said with a cold expression, "I can't believe I'm still alive. Take these 2 people to the interrogation room." Quickly, the 2 were pierced through the pipa bones and tied to the torture stake with iron ropes. To the left of the stake was a large fire pot filled with constantly burning charcoal, and a soldering iron was inserted into the charcoal. On the right was a huge wooden table filled with blood-stained tools, emitting a terrifying smell of blood in the dim flames. Chang looked at the two people with fear on their faces and sneered, then pointed to the torture tool on the wooden table and said, "You two probably know a little about the top 10 tortures in the Zhenwu Guard prison. How about you choose one yourself? Palace punishment. Stick punishment. Sawing. Intestine extraction. Inserting bamboo sticks. Or some simple branding punishment." Chang pulled out a scorching red soldering iron and pressed it against their thighs, only shaking it between them. "Sir, don't. The bald and lewd man who was close to the brazier desperately moved his body away, attempting to stay away from the soldering iron that was close to the roots of his descendants. "Lord Chang, please be careful. We are really drunk. If we knew you were the Lord of Zhenwu, even if we ate the bear heart leopard gallbladder, we wouldn't dare to push you downstairs." "Oh, really?" Chang slowly put away his smiling face and sighed regretfully. According to the documents just checked, these two people are Jianhu thugs who just came from outside Sisui County a few decades ago. Their realm is low, but they spend money recklessly in the land of fireworks all day, which is extremely mismatched with their identities. Sting. The shaped soldering iron was fiercely imprinted on the bald man's thigh. A burnt aroma of meat permeated the entire interrogation room. The bald man flapped his body wildly, emitting painful screams. The other person next to him looked pale and his pants got wet. "Changsheng, what are you doing?" With an angry expression on his face, Yuya pushed open the door of the interrogation room and questioned Changsheng, "You are abusing prisoners, torture is forcing confessions, they are just fighting under the influence of alcohol." The frightened two saw Yuya as if they had seen Tang Sanzang of Sun Wukong, and their eyes instantly lit up. Changsheng slowly turned around and looked at Yuya, who was furious. He coldly said, "Fighting under the influence of alcohol. Intentionally attacking the Zhenwu Guard is also called fighting under the influence of alcohol. And, what are you? Dare to shout at me?" Changsheng's cold and stern gaze stunned Yuya. Previously, Changsheng was naturally weak and had poor strength. He was constantly targeted by subordinates who teamed up to attack him. On the surface, he had 10 subordinates, but in reality, none of them could command him. Seeing the vastly different demeanor of Changsheng from before, everyone couldn't believe it. Is he still known as Changsheng? Pop pop pop. 3 loud ear scrapers fanned Yuya's black face, and Changsheng's eyes were indifferent as he said, "What should I do to confront my boss in person?" These 3 ear scrapes were merciless, directly causing the black face of the remaining teeth to swell. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. The sword shines like water, with a chilly feeling. You are listening at landfall.Audio. Yuya was initially confused and then almost burst into anger. Changsheng finished fanning his remaining teeth and picked up a bone-picking knife from the torture table. He turned around and directly cut off the bald man's 5 fingers. 10 fingers connected to the heart, and the pain of the severed finger rushed straight to the brain marrow, causing the bald man to faint. Looking at Changsheng, who was constantly changing his mood, he fell silent all around, and for a moment, everyone trembled with fear. "He fainted before I even started, he's such a useless person." Changsheng stared coldly at the other person and said, "I don't know how many punishments can you endure." "Don't, I'll explain everything." The other prisoner cried uncontrollably and begged for mercy, he was really scared. Yuya, who was still immersed in anger, felt like a bucket of cold water pouring down his head upon hearing this, revealing a sinister expression on his face. "I didn't expect that you would dare to plot against the Zhenwu Guard and be executed." Yuya suddenly shouted, then drew a knife and went straight up to the prisoner's heart. Bang! Like the sound of spring thunder, a blade of light rushed down like lightning. Yuya's tiger teeth cracked open, and the soul-breaking sword in his hand was cut in two. Changxing sheathed the sword and said with a tiger's eye, with such enthusiasm, "Are you trying to silence me?" Looking at the cracked and bleeding tiger's mouth, my remaining teeth and pupils were filled with shock. "That knife just now, are you dreaming? Isn't this guy a second-order hardened garbage?" The onlookers were also surprised, and some even rubbed their own eyes. Wuxia is a 6th-level cultivator with a quenched body. Is it difficult for his strength to achieve constant victory to be even higher than him? The strength presented in front of me cannot be fake, and Wuxia can only smash his teeth and swallow them in his stomach. He lowered his head and said, "I dare not." Changxing saw the other party surrender, sneered, and then shouted at the prisoner, "It's better to tell the truth." The prisoner licked his dry lips and whimpered for the rest of his life. It was him. It was he who gave us money and instructed us to find an opportunity for you to have an accident. Fart. Wuxia stared fiercely at the prisoner. "Damn it, you scumbag, how could you slander my innocence at will? Just you trash, I wouldn't even look at you in the eye, and you deserve to be instructed by me. Lord Chang, I swear that if I tell a lie, there will be 5 thunderbolts." The prisoner bound there struggled and said, "He even said that only after we take advantage of the chaos and assassinate you, will he find some death row inmates to take responsibility for us. It's all he said. I swear." Wuxia's pupils were bloodshot, and his heart was filled with fear and anger. Lord Chang, he's speechless. You must not believe the words of such criminals. What he did, he knew for himself that once such a thing was admitted, he would be doomed. So, Changxing looked down at Wuxia, who was bending over and holding his fist, disdainfully saying, "Do you think I can't even distinguish between truth and falsehood? Are you still fooling me like a fool until now? Anyway, someone can take off the remaining teeth." Changxing spoke solemnly to the other subordinates who were watching. No authority without authority. If he wants to regain his rightful position, he must first find someone to establish his authority, and Wuxia is the best choice. Changxing's several subordinates looked at each other for a few seconds before honestly stepping out and preparing to obey Changxing's orders to take down the remaining teeth. There's no way, Changxing's momentum and tactics today are really too strong, they were completely intimidated. Wait a minute. A solemn voice came from the entrance of the interrogation room. The crowd dodged towards both sides like waves, and a middle-aged man wearing a silver silk black robe and a bulging temple stormed in with a fierce force. "See you, sir." Seeing everyone coming, everyone is clasping their fists and bowing. This person happens to be Mo Xiangyang, the military guard of Yining town, the top boss of Changxing. "Hello, Lord Mo." Changxing also said with a graceful clasping of his fists. Mo Xiangyang seemed to have not seen it before and angrily said, "So many people are not practicing well and gathering in the prison. What's wrong? Do you want to gather and cause trouble? Also, Changxing, isn't Wuxia your subordinate? What did he do to the point where you wanted to arrest him?" Changxing looked at Mo Xiangyang, lost in thought, and immediately spoke frankly, "Mr. Mo, Wuxia plotted to harm his colleagues, and all of them have been cleared." "I was wronged, Lord Mo, I was wronged," Wuxia immediately denied. "Please Lord Mo make the decision for the villain." Mo Xiangyang glanced at the 2 prisoners who were bound and said with a smile on his face, "Lord Chang, without conclusive evidence, would it be too arbitrary to just say 2 sentences from the prisoners? After all, we are our own people. How can we believe prisoners' words, right? My own person. I can see that Wuxia is indeed your own person." Changxing's tone was extremely cold. "And there are some things that I'm not stupid about, I can judge for myself. Wuxia, if you plan to harm your colleague, you should be punished. After finishing speaking, always win and draw your sword. The light of the knife is as cool as autumn water, and the chill is deep. Stop it for me." Mo Xiangyang was furious, his hands turning into remnants and welcoming Changxing's arms. Bang! Mo Xiangyang's pupils instantly tightened. Although the matter was urgent and hasty just now, the power of Changxing's knife was so powerful that even though he was hitting his arm, it was as if he had hit an iron block. Shwa! Warm blood spurted out from the artery in the neck for several meters. Yuya's eyes were wide open on his head, with a look of disbelief as he rolled to the ground. Shaking the blood droplets on the soul saber, Changxing slowly withdrew the blade and sheathed it. Slashed the 6th level hardened warrior with a destiny value of plus 400, Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Martial Arts. Enhancement. You are listening at novel.Audio. Silent all around for a moment, the needle can be heard falling. Everyone turned their heads numbly to look at Changxing. What is he doing? Have you gone crazy with heartbreak? Mr. Mo clearly wanted to save Yuya just now, and it was even possible that he was behind Yuya. However, Changxing didn't show any face and cut him to death with a knife. A normal person would at least take a step back when encountering such a situation, and then slowly look for opportunities. Everyone looked at Changxing with sympathy. This guy is considered finished. Mo Xiangyang was furious with his veins on his head and said, Changxing, kill your colleagues in front of me. You're really looking for death. That being said, the hand hidden in the long sleeves is constantly shaking. What a strong horizontal practice. I heard before that this guy is practicing traditional horizontal martial arts. But can a second-level horizontal training of a quenched body have such a top? With his own cultivation, he couldn't even stop his sword from falling. Is it difficult? Previously, he was just pretending to be a pig and eating tigers. Why pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger, and now why expose your true strength? Mo Xiangyang's self-proclaimed composure had long been shattered due to his restless mind. Changxing's face remained unchanged as he patted the spot where Mo Xiangyang had hit before on his shoulder and said lightly. Yuya plotted to murder his colleague, and everyone present witnessed the entire interrogation process. As my subordinate and the victim, I think it's not impossible to deal with him at a cheap price. According to the law, the maximum penalty is 6 months' salary. But the adult's repeated exposure of their remaining teeth just now is probably related to this matter. Bold. Mo Xiangyang shouted angrily upon hearing the words, do you know what kind of crime to be guilty of slandering Shangguan? I dare not. Changxing said lightly with a drooping fist. Bastard. Mo Xiangyang rubbed his anger and pulled it all out. Just as he was about to be held accountable, a tall and powerful man with arms capable of running horses appeared behind him at some point, his voice like a tiger roar. Please be quiet to me. Someone, Jinjiao Town Martial Envoy. Wang Feihu. All the people saluted with fists and said, Mr. Wang. Wang Feihu's body was full of evil energy, and his tiger eyes scanned the entire scene. His voice was deafening and he said, as a Zhenwu guard, if you don't fulfill your duties as a Zhenwu guard and protect the people of the world, is it interesting to be trapped here? Mo Xiangyang. Boss, I'm here. Just now, Mo Xiangyang, who had been imposing, seemed to be performing a magic trick, his face instantly turning from anger to laughter, and he approached like a dog. Wang Feihu gave him a sidelong glance and said, Yuya is your person. No matter what, you have to bear the main responsibility for this matter. You will be fined half a year's salary, and Changxing will not be guilty. You are not allowed to trouble him in the future, do you understand? I'll comply, my subordinate. Mo Xiangyang lowered his head and said reluctantly. Wang Feihu then stared sharply at Changxing and said, Chang Tongmyo, do you have anything else to say? Changxing naturally accepted all of this result and clenched his fists, saying, Mr. Wang is fair in his actions, and I have no objection. Wang Feihu, the Minister of Military Affairs in Sisui County, has supreme authority and can be said to be in charge of the entire life and death of all people in Sisui County. In addition, with his own strength, it was not until he completely left that those present dared to wipe the sweat off his temples. Wang-Feihu puts too much pressure on people. Mo Xiangyang gave Changsheng a cold glance and then left the second one. Then the group of people who watched the play also honestly left to do their own things. Only Changsheng and his remaining 9 subordinates of the Zhenwu Guard remained on site. 9 people exchanged a glance at each other and then saluted respectfully, saying, "Mr. Chang." Changsheng watched them silently until all the people who had eye contact with him lowered their heads before whispering, "You are all colleagues, no need to be polite." Is the relationship between Yuya and Mo Yining very close? One person took a half step forward and whispered, "Mr. Chang, I heard that Yuya seems to have some relatives with Mo Yining." Changsheng suddenly realized. This explains why Mo Xiangyang needs to help Yuya everywhere. "Could you please clean up this place?" After speaking, Changsheng walked out of the interrogation room without looking back. No matter where you are, strength is the foundation of your standing. If he was still a second-level hardened body just now, even De Cho, who was assassinated, could only break his teeth and swallow it in his stomach. Revenge is even more unimaginable. And now, system, consume destiny points, enhance martial arts. Ding, 13 Taibao horizontal practice has achieved small success great success. Ding, realm. Quenched body level 7 quenched body level 9. At the next moment, a huge heat flow penetrated the whole body, and the bones all over the body crackled and exploded. Feeling the power of tens of thousands, Changsheng's mouth slightly rises. As a martial arts guard of Silver Eagle Town, Mo Xianyang has only reached the 9th level of body quenching, which is completely incomparable to his level of body quenching, which advanced through horizontal training in hard skills. In the vast Zhenwu department, only Wang-Feihu, who had accumulated qi, was stronger than him. It's best to find another martial arts book with a higher limit. The 13 Taibao horizontal practice is ultimately an external martial arts practice. Even if true qi can be born from the outside in, the number of true qi is not as many as those who specialize in internal martial arts. With the golden finger, it is definitely the best to have both internal and external cultivation at the same level and progress. Once you advance to the qi accumulation stage and generate internal qi, the more internal qi you receive, the stronger your attack amplification will be. As the Tongyo Zhenwu envoy, he is qualified to learn the martial arts of the 2 Zhenwu sections. His predecessor never used up his qualifications, mainly because his predecessor did not even learn the 13 Taibao horizontal practice skills passed down from his family well, so he had no energy to learn other martial arts. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Second-rate martial arts. You are listening at novel.Audio. Outside the Zhenwu Guard prison. Wang-Feihu's figure walked out first, and the man in plain clothes leaning against the corner smiled and said, "It seems that Mr. Wang has already dealt with it." Upon hearing the words of the man in plain clothes, Wang-Feihu glanced sideways, his expression still indifferent. "Huh, you're really boring," the man in plain clothes chuckled helplessly. "And you don't understand the world at all, otherwise you wouldn't have been sent to such a small county." Changsheng is a troublemaker, with countless eyes staring at him from behind. If you want to kill him, why don't you dare to move forward? Don't you know that as long as you keep your eyes open and wait for him to have an accident, you can go further? At least you can get the position of deputy governor. Wang-Feihu's footsteps remained unchanged as he casually bowed and said, "What's with me?" The figure of Su Yi hesitated for a moment. Zhenwu Guard Scripture Pavilion. Located in the lakeside pavilion within the garden, the lakeside pavilion has a total height of 2 floors. According to Changsheng's memory, the martial arts techniques in the martial arts world are divided into 5 levels. Non-mainstream, tertiary, secondary, first. Class, and superior. Non-mainstream martial arts are the most common in the martial arts world, and can be purchased with money. If you reach the third tier, you need to find a mentor to obtain it. The administrative level of the Wuxia in Sisui County is not high, and the highest level of martial arts is only second-rate martial arts. If you want to learn higher level martial arts, you need to be recommended or recruited to the Imperial City Night Guard headquarters. The Wuxia of Dazhong Town suppresses the world and is the most trusted martial arts force in the Dazhong Kingdom. As a result, the martial arts inside are diverse. The first floor of the Sutra Pavilion in the Wuxia Township of Sisui County is filled with stories from the martial arts world, as well as some unremarkable martial arts. Chang walked up to the second floor without even looking, where there were only a few rows of bookshelves scattered with some yellowed book introductions. As for the whole book, it is not possible to place it here for others to watch freely. You need to find a treasure trove keeper to register and collect it specifically. Chang walked one by one. Wudong Long Fist, martial arts, third rate and top-notch. Chang flipped through the introduction and then put it down. His goal this time is to find an internal martial arts book and a weapon technique, to make up for the shortcomings of internal training in mind techniques and weapon martial arts to make up for the shortcomings of horizontal training in defense and attack. He didn't find a martial arts book until the third bookshelf. Blood Battle 8 Styles, Second Rate and Inferior. The 8 forms of blood battle consists of 8 moves, each of which is extremely powerful, using attack instead of defense, and using strength to suppress others. It is very suitable for horizontal martial artists like him. Unexpectedly, I couldn't find a better internal martial arts book. The best internal martial arts in the entire library are only top-notch, not even his family's traditional martial arts. Although the horizontal practice of the 13 heavenly guards may not sound impressive, how could the martial arts practiced by the cheap father of the middle level of the former Zhenwu guard be too poor? This is a second-rate and top-notch martial arts. After completion, not only can internal qi be generated from the outside, but once combined with sufficient internal qi, its defense is strong and it can even dominate in the qi accumulation realm. There's no way, Chang can only casually look for the internal training techniques of the book, Hanging Silk Force, to take a look at first. After finding the guardian of the treasure trove and exchanging 2 martial arts books, Chang returned to the courtyard. He paced the room for a while and made a decision. First, take the land deed to the pawnshop. Then he lit up his waist badge and finally, amidst the pleasantry of the pawnshop owner, he took out a loan of over 600 taels of silver that far exceeded the actual price of the house. Chang knew that his mansion was not big, and the market value was only 600 taels at most. Generally, when he went to a pawnshop, he could only mortgage it at 60% of the price. However, when the shopkeeper saw the waist tag of his copper bull Zhenwu envoy, he would sincerely lend him a high price and low-interest loan. The reason for mortgaging his own homestead is because he needs to quickly convert resources into strength. There are 2 ways to obtain destiny points. 1 or 2 silver coins can recharge 1 destiny point. 2. Exchange souls, slay stronger ones, and gain more destiny points. So before and after receiving it, Changxing directly recharges it as a destiny point, and then starts upgrading against the Blood Battle 8 moves that appear on the panel. Ding, Blood Battle 8 Beginners. Xiaocheng. Ding, the 8 forms of blood battle have become a small success, a great success. In the next moment, a large amount of martial arts experience surged into Changxing's mind. He seemed to have gone through more than 20 seasons, with countless knife techniques imprinted in his muscles and turned into instincts. In a moment, Changxing, who was originally sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes. Kong. The soul-breaking sword standing beside me was unsheathed, and the snowy light of the sword shone in all directions. Blood rain is flying everywhere. Countless blade shadows enveloped the front, and the air made a mournful explosion as if it had been cut. By the time the knife was pulled back into the sheath, the wooden dummy in front of Changsheng had been scattered into neat strips, with neat and smooth openings and uniform sizes. Changsheng smiled and nodded. This powerful knife technique has already been used by him with agility and precision, and the strength of the knife is consistent, which is precisely a manifestation of his profound mastery. Hey, if it weren't for the low fate value not enough to break through the Qi accumulation realm, it would be better to break through to the Qi accumulation realm first, with the highest cost-effectiveness. Changsheng sighed slightly, feeling that he was not worthy of being a gold digger right now. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. White Tiger Hall. Cold Snake Gang. You are listening at novel.Audio. Bang bang bang. A knock came from outside the door. Please come in. A man dressed as a Zhenwu guard carefully entered the door and saw Changsheng respectfully say. Lord Chang, Wang Jinjiao instructed me to ask you to go to the Zhenwu department. If there is anything I can do, I will contact you. Changsheng nodded and said, Did Lord Wang tell you what happened? Wang Jinjiao didn't tell his subordinates, but all the Zhenwu envoys above the bronze bull level went. Changsheng is quite puzzled. In terms of communication, when Wang Feihu issues an order, he will only notify the 2 Silver Eagle Zhenwu envoys under his command. Then they will assign the tasks assigned by him. Now that the incident is sudden, there may be some big news to be announced. Changsheng immediately picked up his knife and walked towards the nearby Zhenwu bureau. Arriving at the White Tiger Hall of the Zhenwu department, Changsheng walked to his seat on the right side of the main seat and sat down. In the hall, the first seat on the left side of the main seat is still empty. This mysterious Silver Eagle Zhenwu envoy has only heard of his name and has not seen him for years. On the right side, led by Mo Xiangyang, was sitting with a sharp gaze at Changsheng. Lin Wei's people looked back and forth between the two like watching a play. Good news never goes out, bad news spreads thousands of miles, and the conflict between Changsheng and Mo Xiangyang has spread throughout the entire Zhenwu department. At first, many people didn't believe that Changsheng, who had always been timid, was so brave. But from the moment he just came in, without even looking at his nominal boss Missouri Xiangyang, he knew that the rumors would not be false. Brave, truly brave. At the next moment, a person sitting next to Mo Xiangyang suddenly stood up and pointed at Changsheng, saying, Changsheng, Lord Mo is here. You, as a subordinate, don't ask for a good voice. Don't you understand any etiquette? This person's name is Tong Yiji, Mo Xiangyang's most obedient lackey. Changsheng buttoned his ear and said, whose dog is not properly tethered and barking everywhere. What the hell are you talking about? Tong Yiji was scolded like this before, but in front of so many colleagues, it was the first time he couldn't help but get angry. Changsheng, you are really too crazy. Changsheng rolled his eyes, letting his incompetence rage him. Shut up, no noise is allowed in the White Tiger Hall. Mo Xiangyang suppressed his anger and whispered angrily. Disguising waste, Mo Xiangyang glanced at Tong Yiji and thought to himself. After waiting for everyone to arrive, Wang Feihu walked out of the back hall with a golden sword and sat confidently in the main seat. Everyone immediately stood up, clasped their fists and saluted. Brothers, thank you for your hard work. Let's sit down. Wang Feihu waved his hand, gesturing for everyone to sit down, and then loudly said, Today we are calling for you to come over. There is an important matter that needs to be announced. The flying pigeon of the Wugo department has sent a letter, and a group of wanted criminals from the court have entered the area of Sisui County. This is a portrait for each person, please help find it. Everyone obeyed and immediately stood up to take orders. Yes, we will do our best. Changsheng held the portrait and invited his subordinates to watch together. The wanted portrait shows 2 teenage boys and girls. Oh, just two little dolls have caused the pursuit of the Imperial City's no-smeared department. Someone asked in confusion. Chang squinted his eyes without answering, only saying, "Don't talk nonsense, everyone gather and come with me." For him, he just wants to complete the task safely and gradually accumulate strength to become stronger. Becoming stronger requires both destiny and martial arts techniques, which can be satisfied by the martial arts department. The identity of the Jinwu Guard can be obtained by executing tasks reasonably, killing criminals to gain destiny points, and killing criminals to gain merit points. With more merit points, they can be exchanged for stronger martial arts and used for snowball rolling. With 9 Jinwu Guards, he quickly walked out of the Jinwu Bureau and began to search for people to inquire about the whereabouts of these two people. The most diverse and widely spread news is naturally from the local landlords. How many gang forces are there in Sisui County? Changxing was assigned from outside, so we can only inquire about these local town guards. A Jinwu Wei stood out respectfully and said, "Report to Lord Chang, the big and well-informed gangs in Sisui County are the Cold Snake Gang and the Guangdao Tang. The Cold Snake Gang is full of mischievous and idle people who wander the streets all day long, with the most people. In the Gale Wind Hall, there are Jianhu guests who know some martial arts skills. Although there are fewer people, their overall strength is actually stronger." Upon hearing this, Changxing pondered for a while before decisively saying, "Okay, let's go to the Cold Snake Gang with me first." Cold Snake Gang Headquarters. The gang members, who were originally taking a nap in front of the door, suddenly saw 10 Xuani golden cannons and Jinwu guards come to the entrance of their Cold Snake Gang with great momentum, and immediately stumbled in to report. After more than 10 breaths, a middle-aged man with a wide and chubby body greets him from the door with a flattering smile. Along came the elders of the Cold Snake Gang. Lu Kairen, as his name suggests, is as chubby as a local tycoon, and it's hard to tell that he used to be a daring and aggressive rascal. At this moment, he smiles all over his face and bends down to look up at Changxing and his group. "Huh, why don't you notify me when all the officials from the town's martial arts department are visiting? I will prepare good wine and food for you. Even the officials in the county government office in Sisui County dare not offend the Jinwu Bureau, let alone these mischievous thugs." Changxing looked at LV Kai in front of him and patted his shoulder, saying, "Master LV, there's no need to be afraid. I'm asking you today to help us with some small matters. Let me assist all the adults." Upon hearing this, LV Kai's tense heart finally relaxed. Changxing extended his left hand, and a skilled Jinwu guard behind him handed the portrait to him. "Here, these are the 2 suspects that the court is vigorously pursuing. I know that leader LV has a wide range of sources of information. Please help me keep an eye on this matter. If you let me know these 2 people are in your territory and you don't notify me, I will come back again." LV Kai respectfully took the portrait with both hands and repeatedly bent down, saying, "I understand. I will definitely put this matter first. Cooperation between the government and the people, cooperation between the government and the people. Okay, once you find someone, go to the Jinwu department to find me as soon as possible. My name is Changxing." Changxing patted his shoulder again and turned away with his men. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Is this the true face of Mr. Chang? You are listening at novel.Audio. Boss, what exactly does Jinwu Si want to do, and the people that these hyenas can't find? LV Kai calmly glanced at the portrait, his eyes flickering with a cold light. He no longer looked like a pug just now, and the temperament of the underworld elder brother was put on again. Anyway, as I just said, notify all the members of the gang, let go of everything in your hands, and find these 2 people hard for me. Hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There was a hint of excitement in LV Kai's tiny eyes. If he could get along with the Jinwu guard through this matter, he would no longer need to be manipulated by the big shots behind him, and their cold snake gang could take this opportunity to soar to the sky. It is not impossible to unify the underground gang in Sisui County. On the moon's eyebrows, Chang still leads his men to investigate clues at the Zhenwu department. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the door outside Chang's office. The Zhenwu guard quickly went over and opened the door, revealing that it was LV Kai. In a moment, Chang, who was sitting in the upper position, smiled at LV Kai and said, "Leader LV is indeed a capable person. Did he bring me good news so soon?" In front of Chang, LV Kai had no aura of a gang leader at all, and even looked a bit subservient. He lowered his head and said, "I will definitely do my best to complete the things that Lord Changxing personally instructed. Just now I found the exact clue. The two people on the portrait are in Shui village on the outskirts of Sisui County." Changxing glanced at the geological map hanging on the wall and nodded. "I will report it to the higher authorities and take credit for the contribution of Leader LV. If I could provide some help to Lord Chang, I would already be overjoyed. I dare not take credit for it." LV Kai is very clear about his position. In the eyes of ordinary people, he is powerful and majestic, but in front of the officials of the court, he is actually a mole ant under his feet and can be easily killed. Not to mention the Zhenwu guards who can suppress the world. This is a spy organization that is only responsible to the emperor. Even if the official sees it, he has to be a person with his tail between his legs. If you are seeking wealth and fortune insurance, you must take a gamble. Lu Kai gritted his teeth and made up his mind to take out a brocade box from his sleeve, with a smile on his face. "Mr. Chang, I just stumbled on this wooden box at your doorstep. It's probably someone who dropped it. Could you please help me find the owner?" "Oh, really?" Changxing playfully smiled and took the wooden box. Inside lay two exquisitely carved sheep fat white jade pieces, which were crystal clear and pure white in texture, delicate and moist, almost flawless, like freshly cut fat from sheep fat, with a luster like condensed oil. It is an extremely superior white jade. Changxing played with it for a while and suddenly shouted, "LV Kai, you are so bold that you openly bribed me." Dong dong. LV Kai immediately bowed to the ground and nervously said, "Lord Chang, every small sentence is true, every sentence is true. If there is a lie, the sky will thunder 9 times. He's a bit confused. Did he flatter the horse's leg? Actually, as an honest and upright official, Lord Chang really doesn't like money." For a moment, I felt lost, feeling that all my previous beautiful visions were just fools enjoying themselves. Chang just joked a little and adjusted the atmosphere. "Brother LV, don't panic." Changxing's face once again showed a gentle smile, gently lifting LV Kai up. "Of course, for the things in the wooden box, I will naturally help find the owner. But..." Changxing summoned LV Kai and said in a voice only heard by 2 people, "Brother LV, if you want to find the owner next time, you can send someone to my house. After all, there are many people here and people are mixed." Lu Kai suddenly realized and cursed himself for being foolish. He quickly made up for it and said, "Mr. Chang, I admire you for working overtime so late every day and being able to help solve such a small matter. This is where our responsibility lies." Changxing sat back in the main seat and warned, "By the way, Brother LV, I have a clear saying. Your cold snake gang's private and dirty transactions hope to be cut off immediately after returning, otherwise they will be caught. I have no choice but to keep this in mind." LV Kai was very clever and immediately understood what Changxing was saying. He pointed 3 fingers and said, "Thank you for your guidance. I swear to definitely restrain my subordinates and follow Chang's call. Okay, go back, come and see off the guests." Changxing waved his hand and someone led LV Kai out of the Zhenwu department. When LV Kai left, a Zhenwu guard next to Changxing spoke up. "Lord Chang, the Cold Snake Gang is just some naughty city thieves. Being too close to such people may be harmful to your reputation. Chang casually said, do you think we, the high schools of the Imperial Eagle and Dog houses in the temple, have good reviews, or are we far away in the martial arts world and have good reputation? The most important thing for people is to recognize themselves. Here, there are 2 pieces in total. I'll take one. As for this piece of sheep fat and white jade, you can find a suitable person to handle it and divide it equally among the brothers. Li Xiaoli, who was in a hurry on the side, caught the brocade box thrown by Changsheng and stood still. After a moment, a hint of excitement flashed in his eyes. Mr. Chang was kind and followed him the right way. Changsheng smiled and assigned another task. By the way, I'll send the prisoner's intelligence to Lord Mo. Li Xiaoli was a bit puzzled and said, Lord Chang, we should have received the news the earliest. If we take down the person first, it would be a first-class achievement. One first-class achievement, one achievement. Changsheng sighed and said, you thought it was too easy. This is a wanted criminal by the Wugo department. Do you think this kind of person has no trump card, no extraordinary means, and can escape here? Li Xiaoli finally understood and looked at him with admiration. I'm a little dull. It was not until then that he truly understood the person in front of him, Mr. Chang. His mind was delicate, his methods were superb, and his military strength seemed to be not weak. So before that, he had been hiding his time. Subordinate, let's go and complete the task assigned by the adults. Li Xiaoli clenched his fists and bent down to step back. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Immortal Heavenly Gang. You are listening at novel.Audio. System, exchange fate points for me. Fate point increased by 1200. It seems that a piece of sheep fat white jade is worth about 120 taels of silver, Changsheng nodded. That is to say, just now he directly gave out 120 taels of money, but he understood a truth. If he wanted the horse to run, he had to give it more grass to eat. After a burning incense stick, Li Xiaoli knocked on the door of Changsheng's office again. As expected, Lord Feihu has just issued a command for all the town guards in Sisui County to come out, with the target being Shui village. Now he firmly believes in Changsheng's words. I didn't see that Feihu was going to be as elite as possible, which proves that this group of people's strength is not easy. If they had stood up for credit before, they probably had already thrown their bodies into the wilderness. Changsheng put on his exclusive cloak, picked up the soul saber, and walked outside the door. Li Xiaoli and others have already led their horses and quietly waited on the side. Let's go. With Changsheng's command, the 9 of them rode up on horseback and swept away like lightning. After galloping westward for a moment, Changsheng and others gradually merged with the large army. After waiting for everyone to gather, a group of 100 people rushed towards the village of Shui with great momentum. The cold moonlight shone on the pitch-black earth, and everyone in their mysterious robes remained silent, only the sound of horse hooves trampling on the ground. Changsheng looked at Feihu at the front and couldn't help but feel puzzled. In the morning, Feihu's attitude towards this matter was still ambiguous, and he didn't see how anxious it was. It was only a day's work now the attitude suddenly changed, and he even led the entire town martial arts department to chase after the target at night. What is this all about? Shui village is not far from Sisui County, and it only took half a pillar of incense to arrive. Stop. Feihu grabbed the reins and signaled. Everyone remember, if you see a fugitive during the search process, remember to only capture them and not kill them. Everyone was puzzled, but the military order was difficult to disobey, so they could only suppress their doubts and make promises with fists. Just as everyone was preparing to disperse and search, a group of black knights suddenly emerged from the trees on both sides. Scandium. The crowd quickly drew knives and formed a circle back to back, focusing on each other. Is the brother in front Wang Feihu and Wang Jinjiao? Wang Feihu frowned and said in a loud voice, "It's me." At this moment, the torch lit up and a cavalry emerged from the crowd. He wore a hair-tied crown, a brown flower-red arrow sleeve, and a stone-blue flower-patterned 8 regimental Japanese forged rotassel coat. He wore blue satin black-soled facing boots, a man with a soft complexion. God's Wrath Camp. Chang Sheng's eyes flashed with surprise. Unexpectedly, even the God Fury camp of Wuxia came over. This is the legitimate army of the immortal heavenly gang Duke Chao. The gentleman sat on the back of a horse with a slightly sharp voice. Your Excellency Wang, I am Li Sheng, the sitting captain of the Chao governor. Wang Feihu saluted and said, I have seen Mr. Li before. Li Sheng is very satisfied with Wang Feihu's attitude, eunuchs just like others to respect them. Mr. Wang, it's just the right time to come. Please come with me to the Shui village to search for criminals. Everyone, come with me. Wang Feihu nodded and took the lead in driving his horse towards the village of Shui. A group of Zhenwu guards only found out when they entered that the battle inside had entered white heat. The people of Wuxia have been completely suppressed by a group of experts inside and are gradually retreating. Wang Feihu made a decisive decision and raised his soul saber, giving the order, charge me. Kang kang kang. The soul-cutting sword is unsheathed, and the soul-cutting ghost devours its soul. Changsheng drives his horse forward, and with the help of horsepower, his sword shines like an electric light, reflecting a headless, bloodthirsty corpse. Fate value plus 420. The average combat power of the Zhenwu guard far exceeded that of the fighting crowd, and she joined the battle and began to tilt towards the court crowd. Behind the other side, several armored strong men are holding weapons to protect 2 young boys and girls, as well as a woman. Why do you look like someone from the military? Changsheng pondered to himself. At this moment, a sharp and delicate voice came from the dense forest behind Changsheng and others. 10,000 arrows fired at once. Chapter 9. Facing the wind with a slash. You are listening at novel.Audio. Seeing Mo Wu suddenly die, chaos arose among the people who were still fighting. For a moment, they didn't know whether to kill 2 black-clothed men or continue pursuing the suspect in the portrait. Slash in the wind with a single blow. Changsheng's eyes flickered, as if something suddenly occurred to him. Taking advantage of the chaos, 2 black-clothed men escorted 3 people in the crowd and opened up all their weapons. The chopping men overturned and snatched 2 horses before quickly leaving. A group of people slipped away to clean the battlefield in place, and Wang Feihu personally followed closely with his people. Changsheng was also left behind. Taking advantage of the lack of attention from the crowd, he found an opportunity to walk past Mo and fumble in his pocket. Soon, he found the silver ticket in Mo's arms. Don't have time to watch more, just silently recharge. Ding, did you practice the martial arts, immortal heavenly gang boy skill? Remnants. Tongzi Gong. Do it or not, let's see if there's still anything left. Ding, did you spend 1,000 destiny points to cultivate the Shaolin 6 Yang technique after discovering it? Practice. In an instant, there was a feeling of sudden penetration in Changsheng's body, and a fiery internal force was born from within the dantian. The internal power cultivated by Shaolin's 6 Yang technique is already as pure as Yang, like a blazing sun. Coupled with the tempering of the 13 heavenly guards' horizontal practice, his internal power is extremely pure and thick. Even though he has just broken through, his internal power quality has far exceeded the ordinary qi accumulation realm by several times. A continuous stream of internal power flows through all 4 limbs and bones. The body rapidly strengthened under the erosion of internal power, and the 13 Taibao's horizontal practice instantly entered a perfect state. A silver sheen rippled on the surface of the body, and the whole body was as hard as iron. Accumulating Qi Realm. Changxing dared not stay for a long time and stuffed his things back into Mo's silence arms, quickly flashing away. Silver notes are optional, but he dare not move these martial arts techniques casually. I didn't expect that Mo Wu still carried the fragments of Immortal Heavenly Gang Boy art on his body. It seems that Duke Chao really values this subordinate. Anyway, all he needs to do is touch the beginner's level of cultivation, and it's actually the same whether there are any cultivation methods in the future. In no time, the chaotic battle ended, and Wang-Feihu stood still, looking into the distance. Shennu camp suffered heavy casualties, and the body of Si Lin Wuku Si Fan Zi fell to the ground. Wang-Feihu held the hilt of the knife, turned around and mounted his horse, shouting, "Return to Zhenwu-Si." Changxing looked thoughtfully at Wang-Feihu in front of him, thinking to himself, was this a letter reported by Wang-Feihu? If Wang-Feihu knew all of this, then the command he just gave them would make sense. But these are no longer important. Anyway, he has already received everything he needs. Zhenwu Department. Changxing returned to his room, hung his sword, and took a few sips of tea from the table. Immediately, a faint smile appeared on his face. With a mental movement, open the system panel. Name. Changxing, Identity. Tongyo Town Martial Envoy, Realm. Qi Accumulation Realm, Early Stage, Practice. 13 Taibao Horizontal Practice, Perfect, Shaolin 6 Yang Skill, Fourfold, Divine Skill. Great Fate Technique Martial Arts. Bloodthirst Battle 8 Forms, De Cheng, Fate Value. 1800 Changxing was secretly shocked in his heart. It seems that there are quite a few silver bills on that big boss Missouri Wuming's body. Coincidentally, now they are all cheaper than themselves. Practice the 8 forms of blood battle. In an instant, a phantom figure came to his mind. The figure waved its sword. The blade shadows are dense, and the fierce blade energy cuts down like a gust of wind and rain. After a moment, Changxing heavily exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, with a happy expression on his face. He could sense the gentle and sometimes violent power within himself. Now that we have broken into the realm of accumulating qi, the 8 forms of blood battle have reached a perfect state, and we have also gained some self-protection power. Any martial arts can unleash extraordinary and unpredictable power after reaching a perfect state of cultivation. With his current background in practicing horizontal skills in the 13 heavenly guards, coupled with the 8 forms of blood battle in the perfect realm, he should be able to withstand the general mid-stage of the qi accumulation realm. In the martial arts world, most martial arts practitioners will not continue to practice after achieving great success in martial arts. Perfection is too difficult. Practicing martial arts takes time, and the time it takes to complete a second-rate martial arts is enough for them to cultivate another first-class martial arts. However, first-class martial arts are definitely rare in this city. With his perfect second-rate martial arts blood battle 8 forms, he is capable of surpassing 99% of people. Wait. I will be back soon. Changxing looked up at the crescent moon hidden in the dark clouds, with a cold glow in his eyes. After a simple wash, Changxing goes to bed. There was nothing to say overnight. The next day, it was dawn and Changxing arrived at the martial arts arena with a knife on his shoulder. When the group of town guards arrived, they were surprised to find that Changxing had already honed his skills on the martial arts arena. This time, the once contemptuous and arrogant Jinwu guards showed extra respect towards him. Even if they are not under his command, they will proactively greet each other with a respectful attitude. Li Xiaoli ran over and respectfully said, "Sir, Wang Jinjiao, please come." Pang. Changxing punched the refined iron bronze man and casually pulled his clothes to put on. "Did you say what it was?" Li Xiaoli shook his head and said, "No. I feel a chill in my heart. Why do I feel that the aura of this copper bull military suppressor has become even more chilling?" When facing him, there was a feeling of facing the martial envoy of Jinjiao town. Got it. Changxing just gave a simple signal and signaled for Li Xiaoli to leave. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Fairness, only on the knife. You are listening at landfall.Audio. Inside the White Tiger Hall. Changxing stepped in with his left foot first and arched his hand, saying, "Please meet Mr. Wang. May I ask if you have anything to do with me?" Feihu looked up and down at Changxing with dignity, his face solemn, and his language wooden. "Last night, relying solely on the information you provided, I scored a second-class merit once and received a silver award of 50. Changxing clenched his fists and remained silent, saying, "Thank you very much, sir. Last night, all the comrades of the Zhenwu department bravely fought against the enemy. I dare not take credit for my humble position." Feihu's appreciation flashed through his eyes, and he said meaningfully, "You should be rewarded for your contributions. I have clear rewards and punishments here, so you don't have to worry." A slight doubt appeared on Changxing's face. Before he could speak, Feihu continued, "If there's nothing, let's go down." Changxing asked no more questions and bowed before turning and leaving. Zhenwu Weizhong has a strict system of merit rewards and punishments, which is divided into individual merit and collective merit. Meritorious deeds involve promotion in positions, as well as qualifications to exchange secrets for the arsenal. 20 second-class achievements are necessary to exchange for 1 first-class achievement. 10 first-class achievements can be exchanged for 1 special achievement. So far, this is still his first second-class merit. In the Zhenwu Guard, merit can be exchanged for martial arts secrets, weapons, pills, and so on. Some things are not something you can buy with money. As for collective merit, similar to individual merit, it can also be exchanged for martial arts secrets, pills, and weapons, but in terms of value, it is definitely not as valuable as individual merit. Returning to the martial arts arena, Li Xiaoli quickly stepped forward and whispered, "Sir, LV Kai has sent someone here and said he wants to treat you to a meal." After pondering for a moment, Changxing said, "Call on your brothers together." Li Xiaoli looked surprised and hesitated, saying, "Sir, this." Changxing glanced at him and said calmly, "Let's have a meal and discuss with the gang leaders in the city how to improve public security. Is there any problem?" Li Xiaoli froze in place. "It seems like there's nothing wrong with what I said, but I just feel that something is not quite right." "No problem." Li Xiaoli nodded wooden. Changxing smiled and turned around to leave. For these selected Zhenwu guards, their education has always been to prioritize imperial power, be upright and selfless, and act impartially. Is there really fairness in this world? Fairness is always on the edge of the sword. The greatest fairness in this world is that heaven is unfair to everyone. Quickly, Li Xiaoli gathered everyone who was training. Upon learning that the commander-in-chief of the Copper Bull town was preparing to treat guests to a meal, everyone had a smile on their faces. Everyone followed Changxing out of the martial arts arena in a grand manner. In the martial arts arena, another group of Zhenwu guards saw them gather together and said, "Are these guys so happy? Is there something good happening? I guess there might have been some mission. Didn't Changxing go to Lord Wang's place just now?" One of the men with a shoe-pulled face turned his eyes and said, "If you have time, follow and keep an eye on me. I'll report to Lord Silver Eagle. Mo Yining can say hello and ask them to keep an eye on the trend of Changxing, so they naturally need to report at any time." "Okay." A few people responded and quickly followed cautiously. Entangled Heart Garden. Although it was time for a meal, the Heart Garden was particularly quiet, without the hustle and bustle of people from the martial arts world or tourists. This is because LV Kai from the Cold Snake Gang has taken over all of this place, and the area around the restaurant has been cleared by the people of the Cold Snake Gang. When Changxing led a group of Zhenwu guards to come, LV Kai was already waiting at the door. Huh, Lord Chang, you're here with great pleasure. LV Kai smiled all over his face. Chang Xing supported the soul saber at his waist and smiled, saying, Master LV, you're welcome. Last time, I also wanted to thank Master LV a lot. LV Kai bent down and made a gesture of invitation, saying, I should take care of every little thing. Hurry up, Mr. Chang, please come upstairs. Chang Xing nodded slightly and walked straight upstairs. Second floor private room. Lu Kai waved and called the servant over, saying, Do you have any vision? Didn't you see that all the adults are here? Serve the dishes quickly. The servant was startled and felt like he was bending down, saying, Yes, I'm going to prepare now. After Chang Xing sat down, he looked at the group of Zhenwu guards and chuckled, Let's all sit down. You don't have to be constrained. You should eat and drink. Today is for dinner, there is no hierarchy. Thank you very much, sir. A group of Zhenwu guards clasped their fists and saluted, showing gratitude on their faces. This heartbreaking garden is a first-class restaurant in the city, and they usually don't have many opportunities to come here. The servant acted quickly and served a large number of sumptuous dishes on the table. Chang Xing looked at LV Kai standing on the side with a reserved expression and smiled, Leader LV, sit down. LV Kai sat down carefully. Chang Xing ate it without hesitation, ignoring LV Kai beside him. Martial arts cultivation cultivates refined energy, which is the energy in food. Moreover, it is also a practice of hard Qi Kung Fu, and the energy that needs to be replenished is not comparable to that of ordinary people. Not to mention that he has just broken through the Qi accumulation state, his appetite has once again skyrocketed. Therefore, the poor cannot afford to practice martial arts. After all, even basic needs cannot be solved, so there is no need to talk about practicing martial arts. Fortunately, it's rare to have someone treat you today. If you don't eat, it's for free. Soon, after 3 rounds of wine and 5 flavors of food, Chang Xing wiped the corner of his mouth and looked at LV Kai with a faint smile on his face. Tell me, what's up? LV Kai stopped moving, his chubby face feeling a bit uneasy. Chang Xing said calmly, Let me tell you, I enjoy working with people who are direct and atmospheric. LV Kai quickly stood up and said, Sir, my younger brother was sent to prison for beating someone recently. I dare to ask for your help. Chang Xing raised his eyebrows and said, It seems that your younger brother is not harming ordinary people. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.